honey. Now, you may think it's straightforward. What you see is what you get. But did you know that there are some brands that can be actually more syrup than honey, and that is controversy?
Is that honey in your pantry actually pure? Recent lab tests revealed that nearly 20% of Australian-branded honey, including some supermarket staples and boutique labels, showed signs of adulteration with cheap sugar syrups. Don't get stung by fake honey. Here is which brands to watch and how to spot the real deal. 1. Capilano, the 100% Australian confusion. Capilano is the most recognizable honey brand in Australia. It's on shelves everywhere, it sponsors sports teams, and it has spent decades branding itself as a symbol of Aussie beekeeping. That's exactly why many consumers don't question it. The problem isn't that Capilano honey is fake. The problem is how it's processed and how the labeling can mislead buyers who think they're getting raw, minimally touched honey straight from the hive. Most Capilano honey is heavily heated and ultra-filtered. Heating improves shelf life and consistency, but it destroys enzymes, pollen, and many of the antibacterial properties people buy honey for in the first place. What you're left with is mostly sugar, still honey, but stripped of much of its value. Another issue is blending. While Capilano does sell Australian honey, much of its range has historically included imported honey blends. The fine print matters. Many jars rely on wording like packed in Australia rather than product of Australia, which are not the same thing. Capilano also uses filtration methods that remove pollen. That makes it harder to trace the honey's true origin and is a red flag in global honey fraud discussions. If your goal is raw, traceable, enzyme-rich honey, Capilano is not designed for that. It's designed for mass retail, long shelf life, and uniform taste, not purity. 2. Woolworths home brand honey. Cheap for a reason. Supermarket home brand honey exists for one reason: price. Woolworths home brand honey is often one of the cheapest options on the shelf, which should immediately raise questions. Honey is labor-intensive. Bees must forage, beekeepers must harvest, and processing costs add up. When a jar is significantly cheaper than most competitors, something has been sacrificed. In many cases, that sacrifice is origin transparency. Home brand honey is commonly a blend of imported honey from multiple countries. Labels often say packed in Australia from local and imported ingredients, which tells you very little about where the honey actually came from. Another concern is filtration. Home brand honey is typically ultra-filtered to create a perfectly clear product with no crystallization. Crystallization is natural in real honey. Removing it makes the honey look more appealing, but also removes pollen and nutrients. There's also the issue of adulteration risk. Globally, low-cost honey is the most vulnerable category for sugar syrup dilution. While there may be no direct accusation, the lack of traceability and extremely low price point put it in the high-risk category. This honey functions as a sweetener, not a health food. If you're buying honey for taste alone, it may do the job. If you're buying it for health, this isn't it. 3. Coles brand honey, blended and overprocessed. Coles brand honey suffers from many of the same problems as other supermarket private labels, but with one added complication: branding that implies quality without delivering it. Coles often markets its honey with pastoral imagery and clean packaging, which can subconsciously signal natural and pure. The label, however, tells a different story. Most Coles honey products are blends of local and imported honey. The countries of origin are rarely specified clearly. This makes it impossible for consumers to judge production standards, antibiotic use, or environmental practices involved in the honey's production. Processing is another issue. Coles honey is typically heated to prevent crystallization and extend shelf life. While that improves convenience, it destroys many beneficial enzymes such as glucose oxidase, which contributes to honey's antibacterial effects. Like most mass-market honey, it is also filtered to remove pollen. That means you lose traceability and nutritional complexity. Coles brand honey is consistent, sweet, and affordable, but it's not raw, not single origin, and not nutritionally comparable to high-quality local honey. 4. YLDI Brambles honey, ultra cheap, ultra questionable. YLDI has built a reputation on low prices, and its honey offerings reflect that philosophy. Brambles honey is often significantly cheaper than most Australian honey brands, which puts it under scrutiny. The primary concern here is origin. Bramwell's honey is typically imported or blended from multiple international sources. The labeling usually meets legal minimums, but offers little meaningful transparency. Inexpensive imported honey is the category most commonly associated with global honey fraud scandals. These include dilution with rice syrup, corn syrup, or other sweeteners that are chemically difficult to detect. While there is no public proof that Bramwell's honey is adulterated, the risk profile is high. Extremely low prices combined with vague origin labeling are classic warning signs. Processing also strips this honey of most of its natural benefits. Heating and filtration remove enzymes, antioxidants, and pollen, leaving a product that behaves more like golden syrup than real honey. If price is your only concern, Bramwell's honey delivers sweetness. If purity matters at all, it's best avoided. 5. Queen Bee honey, branding without substance. The name Queen Bee suggests premium quality, careful sourcing, and natural excellence. Unfortunately, the branding does more work than the product itself. Queen Bee honey products often rely on imported honey blends. The jars may look artisanal, but the contents are frequently processed to industrial standards, heated, filtered, and homogenized. Another issue is lack of specificity. Terms like natural honey are used liberally, but that term has no strict legal definition when it comes to processing methods. Honey can be heated, filtered, and blended and still legally be called natural. Queen Bee honey is also usually filtered to remove pollen, which again raises traceability concerns. Without pollen, it's difficult to verify floral source or geographic origin. This brand sits in a dangerous middle ground. It's more expensive than supermarket home brands, but it doesn't offer the transparency or nutritional value of true raw or single-origin honey. You're paying for packaging and name recognition, not quality. 6. Manuka-style honey without UMF ratings. Manuka honey is one of the most abused labels in the honey industry. In Australia, many brands sell Manuka-style or Manuka blend honey that looks premium but lacks verified activity ratings. Real Manuka honey is measured using systems like UMF, Unique Manuka Factor, or MGO levels. These ratings indicate antibacterial potency and authenticity. Many honey jars sold in Australia reference Manuka on the label but do not include any certified rating. Instead, they rely on vague language like Manuka-inspired, active honey, or bioactive. These products often contain only small amounts of Manuka pollen or are blended with standard honey. The result is a product that tastes similar but does not deliver the medical or nutritional benefits people associate with true Manuka honey. Without verified testing, there is no way to know what you're paying for. These products are often priced significantly higher than regular honey, making the value proposition even worse. If a honey mentions Manuka but doesn't show a certified rating, it's marketing, not medicine. 7. Imported pure honey with no country breakdown. Many honey jars sold in Australia simply say pure honey and packed in Australia. This is one of the biggest labeling traps in the industry. Pure honey only means that the product meets the basic legal definition of honey. It does not mean raw, unfiltered, unheated, or single origin. It also does not mean Australian. These products are usually blended from multiple countries, often including regions with lower production standards. The lack of country breakdown makes it impossible to assess quality or ethical sourcing. These honeys are almost always heavily processed. Heating and filtration ensure shelf stability, but destroy most of the compounds that make honey valuable beyond sweetness. Consumers assume pure means high quality. In reality, it usually means the bare minimum required by law. 8. Honey in squeeze bottles. Convenience over quality. Squeeze bottles are popular for one reason, convenience, but they come with a cost. To stay liquid in a squeeze bottle, honey must be heavily processed. Natural honey crystallizes over time. Preventing that requires heating, fine filtration, or blending. As a result, squeeze bottle honey is almost always ultra-filtered and heated. That eliminates pollen, enzymes, antioxidants, and much of the antibacterial activity. These products are designed to behave like syrup, not like honey. They're easy to pour, easy to store, and easy to mass produce, but nutritionally hollow. If your honey never crystallizes, that's not a feature. It's a warning. 9. Why Australian consumers are being misled. Australia has some of the cleanest honey production in the world. Our bees are free from many diseases that plague other countries, and local beekeepers produce exceptional honey. Yet supermarket shelves are dominated by imported blends and heavily processed products. Why? Because they're cheaper, more consistent, and easier to scale. Labeling laws allow companies to emphasize where honey is packed rather than where it's produced. Marketing language exploits consumer assumptions, and most shoppers don't have the time to decode fine print. The result is a market where real honey exists, but is buried beneath layers of branding and confusion. If you want real honey, look for these signs: raw or unfiltered, clearly stated; single origin or specific regional sourcing; crystallization over time; local beekeeper names, not just brand logos. Honey should be alive. If it behaves like syrup, looks perfect forever, and costs suspiciously little, it probably isn't what you think.